Hello guys, welcome back. It's Illogical as always, and we're going to be doing a bot game because what we're going to be doing, as says, knowledge is power. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking our way through the map today. Hence the reason I'm using a bot game for an example, so I am, right? So we're going to be talking through the map. Obviously, you have your map on your right hand side. Now, I wonder now, can I actually change that gameplay? UI. I'm looking for map. That's on default. That's annoying. So no, you cannot edit the size of the map, which is unfortunate. I will probably have to try and say something about that there, but as it sits, I don't know how I would get around to getting that done. So I don't, because unfortunately you cannot modify the size of the map. Now I can let everybody else do as they please, because right now I'm in no real pressure, so I'm not. So we're going to stand here and talk about the map, and then we'll go exploring. So in saying that, I've chosen jungler for this example, so I have, because jungler has the most freedom. Now we shall start with, obviously you have the starting three lanes. You have the duo lane, which is to our left. We have our mid lane, which is always going to be mid lane, and then you have solo lane, which is to our right. So you do. So we'll do them one at a time, simply due to the factor of each character, each lane has their own purpose. So they do. Now mid lane is mostly just your generalized lane, so it does have the most flexibility. But dual lane is a bit different, so it is. So in dual lane, it'll be a 2v2 at all times, unless the jungler tries to gank. On this lane, you have the gold buff that is here, so it grants more gold and experience. So it does not. I think it grants the same amount of experience as normal minions, but it grants more gold instead. This is going to be the main target for your carry to acquire. So it is, right? And obviously they will have to contest they will have to contest this gold buff. So they'll have to contest this. In saying that, there another job that the the dual lane have, not the jungler. Another job that the dual lane has is to secure Fangtooth. Fangtooth spawns every 5 minutes. So it does. It spawns in the initial 5 minutes. I can't remember what the spawn rate is afterwards. I think it might be 5 minutes as well, or it might be 3 or 4. I'm not 100% sure. But dual lane, once dual lane succeeds in pushing their lane, they can help the jungler secure the Fangtooth, which is going to be a global buff to your team, and you can gain up to 4 Fangtooths. The first Fangtooth is going to give you 50% increased. Well, it says stat buffs for different for each kill. So the first kill that you're going to get is going to give you a 50% increased duration to your jungle buffs. The second kill is going to give you 8% movement speed. The third buff is going to be, if I am correct, it's a boost to everything. Your physical defense and your physical and magical defense and physical and magical power. Yes, I already understand that. It's a bot game, it's not extreme. And then the fourth buff normally is going to be the Primal Fangtooth, which gives you auto attack buff. So your basic attack buff, so it does. So that there's what dual lane has to deal with. Mid lane is slightly different, so it is. Mid lane has a little bit more to deal with, as mid lane has 2 river camps on either side, here and at the other side. Now these 2 river camps are rather different to each other. Yes, Gideon, hi. These 2 river camps, it's normally one for each mid laner, but obviously your solo laner can come and rob one, and your duo laner can come and rob one, but primarily the effect of it is to have is for your mid laner. Your mid laner is to obviously box against the other mid laner, which is all good. Yeah, I'm just annoying the bots at this moment in time. As you can tell, the Gideon hasn't tried to kill me yet, so you can tell that this is most certainly a bot game. So yes, it's going to be a boxing match between the 2 mid laners, and obviously you have to secure the river camps. Now, junglers can secure these as well, but the main reason why the mid laner wants to secure the river camp is because it gives you a mana regen buff, as well as any external buff it could possibly give you. Now, this could be anything from a shield, ability power, attack speed, movement speed. I think that's most of them, so it is. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make our way down and over to solo lane, because solo lane has a little bit more of an interesting conundrum to deal with. So it does. Now, solo lane is again another boxing match, 1v1. Normally tankier heroes, normally. And it's a 1v1, so it is. Then versus simple as 1v1. Only in similar but different to the jungle side, or the carry side, the Scion buff gives you increased XP but low gold. So basically, duo side and solo side are complete opposites to each other. We're going to pick up evade here because it's going to speed up what I'm doing. So this here gives you XP, so and it can allow you to snowball if you can repeatedly secure them. So, and then for solo lane, what solo lane needs to do is they need to do this. They need to control the orb prime. Now the orb prime gives you a temporary 20% buff. So it does. And this is now at the start, it's only a mini prime, but then it will upgrade into full orb prime later on. The mini prime can be secured by your solo laner to help shove solo lane. So it can. It is a single, it grants the buff to a single player, whereas the grand orb prime, as I'm going to now call it, will give you a buff to all of your characters, or everybody in the team, so it will. Again, here's an example of one of the river camps. Pink buff is bonus ability damage, so it is. So now that I've explained the general mapping within the game, so we have duo lane, mid lane, and solo lane already all covered. So we do. And that there's the core part. Now, the way that the jungle is designed is mirrored but opposites. So on our side of the field, so on the right side of jungle, our right side has one red camp and two minion camps. So it does. And our blue side has one blue camp and two minion camps as well. Whereas if you look at their side of the map, it is rotated opposites. So it is my red side is their blue side, and my blue side is their red side. So it is. And that there's your general mapping. So it is. Think of it like this here. Whatever's on our side is flipped on their side. So as it says, we've already demonstrated how the mapping is. So we have, and that there's just the general basis of it. I just want to do a quick sort of run around the map and demonstrate. As it says, information is power. There's their blue. Who's their jungler? Rampage. I haven't seen Rampage. Well, there he is there. Hi, Rampage. So yeah, that there's the general basics of it. And if you're wondering what each buff does, we may as well cover the buffs as well then. The red buff gives you an AoE of damage, so it does. So let's actually run up to the red buff, because the red buff actually tells you what it does. So magic damage over time and slow on basic hits. So this would be for your melee related characters, so it would be. Any melee related characters will, that there's what the red camp is for. So anybody who's not doing ability damage, that would be the likes of your chimeras, your Kalaris, things like that there. People who are looking to get stuck into a fight. Whereas the blue camp gives you mana regen, ability haste, increased magic damage on non-heroes, I think that said. Let me get that back up. Yeah, increased magic damage against non-heroes. So this is where your magical junglers will start. The likes of your Severogs, your Shimbys, your Quangs will all start on the blue buff, because that there's better suited to what their style of play is. And the red buff is more for melee characters like Chimera and Kalari, Rampage. They would be the ones that would take the red camp. And that there's more or less the long and the short of it. It's just, as it says, it's a general sneak peek into, it's not a sneak peek, it's just a general peek into the map itself, so it is. And there are tips and tricks that I will deal with later, but I just need people to gain a general knowledge of the map first before you try to play the game. Now, as I say, general knowledge of the map, what I'm basically recommending that you do is literally just go play a bot game and explore. See if you can find spots that may look interesting and things like that there. It's just general exploration of the map, so you learn what to do. Now, at the exact same time, is it possible that I could lose this bot game? Possibly. But at the exact same time, bots are not exactly fantastic players, so I could probably snowball catch up and win. But as says, the entire point of this here was just to demonstrate there's the mini prime. So it is. The general idea of this here was more or less just to give you a quick run around the map so you know what you're looking for. Dual lane is to box the opposite dual lane as well as try to obtain the gold buff and protect or kill Fangtooth. Basically, you're going to contest Fangtooth and try and kill it, or farm up gold. That's the general duty of dual lane, so it is. The mid laner, as says, it'll be explained later on in more detail whenever I do a mid lane specific guide. Mid lane is more or less you're contesting the river camps and trying to beat the mid laner. Solo lane, you're contesting Orb Prime and Scion buff and trying to, and regardless to whatever I say, you're trying to beat back your opponent. You're trying to push them constantly back to take towers. I know my team doesn't need me, it's a bot game. Take towers and progress up the map until you take their core or they surrender. That is your general point of plan. So it is. So that there's a quick run around the map, a quick demonstration of what you're looking at, what buffs are where, and a quick role description. As says, dual lane is contesting gold buff and Fangtooth. Mid lane is contesting both. Technically, mid lane, right? A little bit more detail. Technically, mid lane is contesting the river camps, Fangtooth, and Orb Prime, primarily because they are situated in the middle of the lane. And then solo lane is contesting Orb Prime and Scion buff. So it is. As says, you will pick up more in the game as you learn, but as a very, very general overview of the map and the way that the map's laid out, this will fit your purpose. As says, once if you watch this video and then go into the game yourself, you will see what I mean, and then you can build off that as a foundation of information. This is the entire point of this here, is just general foundation. So that there's it. As says, if you've watched my previous videos, I'm pretty sure everybody's already extraordinarily experienced at this stage, but I just want people who are new to the game to gain a general information of the game. As says, this is the beginning. Knowledge is power, as always. But yes, I think I've covered the core concepts. As says, we will get into more detail as these videos go on. But for now, this is the standpoint. So it is, as says, my editing is scratchy as fuck at the minute, so I do apologize. And everything's done live because my post commentary is dog shit. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed. There's a general overview of the map. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe if you didn't enjoy. And I will see you all in the next video. Remember guys, not everything goes to plan, and knowledge equals power. Bye!